Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to F1 2020. This is MyTeam Principal. We're on episode number 11. We're getting pretty late into season number 2 here. 28th of September. We've got a decent little chunk to fill here. We've got 5 days and then another 3 after an invitational event. So 5 days plus 3. Well, there's a single 4-day thing. It would have to fit in here by itself, or we could get a 3 along with a 2. Is there a good 2? Experience for our teammate, certainly valuable. Let's go ahead and get that in there and then find one of the 3s to pick up. So experience and awareness. There's 3 really good choices. Team acclaim plus cash. Cash really doesn't mean much anymore. That's a very small amount of cash. The department morale is very nice. I'm going to go ahead and grab some department morale and boost our teammate who really needs some boosting. So last time, right at the end, the last race we were entering, we got the announcement that there were going to be regulation changes. Now we already have good morale, so this is going to be really good for keeping the morale up. There's regulation changes coming. We have 1,500 points right now. That's a good start. Where is it going? What's it going to be for the second season in a row? Last season, it was powertrain and aerodynamics that saw a rehashing change in the regulations. And this year it's going to be chassis and durability. The durability would be really easy to cover off. We only have 2 parts, but that's the last ones. We're going to focus entirely on chassis in the coming races, trying to cover off especially these major ones first. So 587 points. We're going to adapt. Each of those. We have 339. Not enough points there. We do have enough points for that one, but let's go ahead and hang on to these. We have some time here. Our chassis is only halfway up the order. Overall, as a team, though, we've moved up significantly. We're all the way up to 3rd now. We are almost on par with Ferrari. Mercedes still quite a ways ahead, but this team has every chance to be competitive for Noda to make her way through the field. And we can't be too far off from Calderon being able to grab a point or 2. It's possible before the end of the season she might be able to grab a point or 2. But I can tell you right now, outside of, well, a single aero upgrade that we have, at least it's a major upgrade, there is nothing new coming to the car that's going to matter the rest of this season, because it's going to take a lot of points to cover off those upgrades. Once we get that done, then we can focus on current upgrades once again. Home race for Juju Noda. It's Suzuka. Round 18 of the championship. Calderon, little disappointing that she's only managed a 17th place finish. It seems to be kind of her home for now as we continue to develop. I mean, one good thing of note, she's within 2 seconds of 12th place. She's 5 seconds ahead of Magnussen in the Haas, so she's gone from just beating those cars to now right on the tail of the back midfield. But she's still got some work to do. She's getting closer. She is getting closer. Perez, last one in the points. Ocon, the only Red Bull in the points, and just 2 points for them this weekend. Russell, 4 points for Renault. Sainz way ahead of Norris this time. Started 12th. Norris started 10th. Norris might have had an incident. He dropped back. Not a very good race for him. Ricciardo, 6th place in the Ferrari. Bottas is 5th, so the championship leader. Started 11th in this one. Moved his way up the order to just 5th place. Noda just missing out on another podium, taking 4th. Good race for her. Just cleared these last two cars on her way up. Vettel claims third, Hamilton second after starting on pole, does get quickest lap, but it is Max Verstappen. Now, great driver, don't get me wrong, he deserves to be up here, but he is driving for Renault this season. Verstappen is driving for Renault and just managed to claim a race victory for Renault. Don't ask me how many years it's been since their side has won a race. I don't think they've won anything since they've come back into being a full constructor. So I think it's been decades, right? Since the previous version of Renault has been on that top step. I could be wrong, but I think it's been that long. Bottas still leads, though, and still comfortably, despite finishing a few positions behind Hamilton. 77 points to the good. Ricciardo still ahead of Vettel, and actually a fairly decent margin there. Verstappen now up into not just best of the rest, but all the way up to 5th place at this point. And I move up a spot as well, ahead of Ocon, just 1 point clear in 7th. Alright, so I'm adding in awareness training for Calderon. Team acclaim 1200, 120 resource points, some additional department morale. So the department morale should be really high by this point. Now, I've saved up a good bit of money so we can make a major upgrade. We have 18 million. Got a direction or two to go with this one. Is sponsor relations available? No, that is all the way up to 30 million to make that last one happen. So we're not going to get to that right now. What I am going to get to, though, is our top department, the aero department. Resource point generation. Spendy, but we can take that all the way to 200 from 120. That's an extra 80 points. That's a big jump. With the completed aero upgrade ready for us now this week, we have actually surpassed Ferrari. We have, by a slight margin, the second best car on the grid. Calderon is really starting to run out of excuses, though, to be finishing behind or just in front of Williams and Haas and one Alfa Romeo every week. This car is good enough that she should at least be finishing around the McLarens, if not better than them. So hopefully we can develop her to actually do what the car is capable of doing, so we can turn this into a 2-driver affair that's actually going somewhere. Continue to cover off parts. In the chassis department, we have 2 major upgrades left, as they are the most expensive and most time consuming. To me, it makes perfect sense to begin with the more expensive upgrades and cover them off first. Through just 2 race weekends, we've had enough to now cover off all but 3 parts. Last season, we only managed to get enough points to cover off all but 3 parts through the entire rest of the season. So we've done that in just 2 race weekends. I would think we'll have enough points through this next race weekend to go ahead and cover off those last 3. We still have a durability department to get through as well, though, but there's only a couple upgrades to cover off there. Make that 3. That new upgrade still needs to be covered off, apparently, but we'll get to those after the chassis is done. U.S. Grand Prix, Circuit of Americas, my home Grand Prix, but I really can't take the claim. Austin, Texas is nowhere near Vancouver, Washington. Now, Calderon 16th. She does beat Leclerc this time and is 2.5 seconds ahead. So that's something. Leclerc actually started from 10th. Somehow made it all the way to Q3 in the Alfa Romeo. Excellent job from the Monegasque driver. But Calderon just 16th. This time Couple tenths behind Kvyat, quarter of a second behind. Really close, really competitive, right there. Still should be higher up, but it's something. Albon, Ocon continue to struggle. They miss out on the points. Norris misses out on points. Perez, Stroll, both just getting into the points. Sainz, again, outperforming. Vettel down in 7th. Russell in the Renault all the way up in 6th. Vettel started on the front row, by the way. Ricciardo 5th. Noda, another 4th place finish. She's been very consistent in the top 5 now with a couple of podiums. Verstappen, another podium for him. 2nd place, though. Bottas, championship leader, only 3rd. Hamilton wins from pole, fastest lap, picks up 11 points, but there's still a pretty big gap, and Hamilton is running out of time. 3 races to go, 66 points. It's just about locked up for back-to-back championships for Valtteri Bottas. Now Noda is more firmly into 7th place in the standings, splitting the Red Bulls and actually looking like she's got a chance to move up to 7th before the end of the season, as Red Bull is very much struggling right now, and Noda has been consistently in the top 5. Noda in the simulator right now at Monaco. Definitely needs some work there. Always needs some work there. At least I do anyway. We are going to work on that simulator. This is going to be the last upgrade I'd make during the regular season now, as we need to put away a little bit of money for the driver market. Of course, we're going to get a lot of money at the end of the season, so we'll be able to reinvest then. But always got to stack a little bit of money away, and we're going to start that process after this last upgrade. 2nd driver pace stat will moderately improve from this upgrade. Final 3 chassis upgrades will be covered here, and plenty of points remain. 720 to go into the reliability and start doing the same. Just one part remains to be covered off. We'll easily do that after this race, and then we'll be able to turn our focus to additional upgrades before we end the season. Though it's another disappointing finish for Calderon, just 17th, as we continue to try to develop her ratings. She was only 2 seconds away from 14th. So, I mean, there's positive signs, right? And we haven't made any improvements on the car in a little while, so, we're possibly drifting backwards over the last couple of races. Albon, just 19th in the Red Bull, so real struggle for him. It's hard to say what would definitively be Calderon's home race. She's from Colombia. I could realistically see 3 options on what would be her home race, or what she would consider her home race, as there is no Colombian race. Interlagos, Brazil, maybe. It's the only South American race on the calendar, and that's where we're going to be for the next race. But she's Spanish speaking. Interlagos is Portuguese. Brazil is Portuguese. So I would think it would probably lean more towards a Spanish race. And you have 2 choices with that. You have Barcelona as the Spanish race, so the motherland, as one might say, or the Mexican Grand Prix, and that's where we've been for this one. So Mexico City, geography, that's a lot closer, and a little bit closer than Interlagos. I would think that would probably be Calderon's home race. By the way, in real life, she is not in F2 any longer. She was pretty poor last season. I don't think her career is over yet. She's got to develop a bit more. I think she's going to get another shot. Maybe it's back in F3 again. But this year, she is Alfa Romeo's test driver. Now at the top of the grid, Stroll and Perez again just squeezing their way into the points. Ocon does score some points for Red Bull today, albeit just 4. It does start from 13th to get up to 8th, though. Bottas, the championship leader, starts on the front row, but only finishes in 7th, this time scoring just 6 championship points. Russell scores 8 with another strong performance. Ricciardo again in 5th. I am yet again in 4th place with Juju Noda, grabbing the quickest lap as well, with a lot of drivers in the 120s, so that was an awfully close competition. Verstappen, another podium, but 3rd place. 3 successive podiums for him. Vettel takes 2nd after starting 3rd, and it is Hamilton keeping the championship alive, scoring 25 points after winning from the pole. I'm sure Hamilton would have been happy with a fast lap, getting that extra point. I'm happy with it, though. I'll take those 13 points. So it is now a 47-point lead. 2 races to go. So Bottas only needs to score a few points to end Hamilton's chances, and Hamilton's going to have to win both races. Probably needs the quickest lap as well, stretching what Bottas needs. But still, 6 points would eliminate Hamilton from competition, and that is, again, if Hamilton wins and takes the quickest lap. 2 Ferraris are firmly cemented into 3rd and 4th, with Ricciardo not quite secure, but looking pretty good to hang on to 3rd place. Verstappen is comfortably 5th, and I have jumped both Red Bulls over the last 2 or 3 races to now move up into 6th place. And it was Albon, who just finished 19th, that I moved ahead of this time. Might be able to hang on to that. As a team, though, definitely 5th place. We are locked into the constructors. In fact, I think just about everybody is. Red Bull, though, really struggling, and Renault has placed well in recent races. So Renault has a small chance of cracking that top 3 for the first time. One of those 3 teams going down for the first time in a long time. Entirely possible. Racing Point, good but not good enough. 6th. McLaren, bad season for them to only be 7th. Alfa Romeo, all on Charles Leclerc. He might have all 17 points potentially. Does he? He does. 17 points for Leclerc. He has all of Alfa Romeo's points this season. And the AlphaTauri, with 12 points of their own. So with just 2 races to go in the season, the entire field has flatlined. There were 0 upgrades from the US to Mexico, and it could be the same to Brazil, as everyone seems busy covering off the previous upgrades and preparing for next season. The latest upgrades, Renault and McLaren. Renault moving up, and we've really seen it out on track with some improved performances from them. But my move ahead of Ferrari has stuck, as Ferrari has not made any significant upgrades for a while. My last major upgrade in the Aero has matched just a minor upgrade for Ferrari, and they have not made an upgrade since. In fact, from where we were at the beginning of the season compared to Ferrari, we covered a lot of ground this season on the car, and we're looking at pretty dang competitive for next season. I'm going to go ahead and cover off the final upgrade of the year. It's only 250 points, and we're way behind in durability, but at least our 3 upgrades are covered off. And that takes care of that. It is all covered off now for next season. I can turn my attention to adding any upgrades I can. They might not be ready till next season, but we might as well get them going. 975 points right now is not enough for any major upgrades, but it does look like the Aero department, for example, is completely locked behind some minor upgrades right now. But we are on top of that department currently. Powertrain? Yeah, we dropped a bit. We were 2nd at one point. We are 4th now, though it is very close. I think this might be a good place to pick up. 1,225 points, though. It's going to have to wait but it might not have to wait all the way to the next race. Might be able to do it a week from now. So I'm not somebody who likes playing the lottery at all. In fact, I never play the lottery. The odds are against you. I'm someone who takes calculated risks, and I know that you get nowhere without taking some risk. I left behind a teaching career of 10 years to open a daycare with my wife. I do take risks, but it's very calculated risks. I have a 28% chance of failure developing standard. I could develop the rushed part major engine power upgrade, and it would, under the rushed condition, be ready just before the final race of the season at Abu Dhabi, which would be nice, but it doubles the chance of failure, just about. And that is just a dumb thing to do, in my opinion. I just don't see the gain from taking your own resource points away from you by drastically increasing the likelihood that you're going to have failure. Take your time, do it right. Means we don't get it until next season, but do it right. 3/4 chance that it's going to succeed, and it puts us in a good way heading into next season. Calderon does manage to beat AlphaTauri to claim 16th in this one, but still well behind where she needs to be. Field stayed relatively bunched up in this one, outside of the two Williams who are miles behind. Ocon gets into the points, 9th place. Verstappen just 8th today. His string of performances are done. Hamilton has failed to do what he needs to do. He started from the front row, but only finished 7th. That already guarantees the Drivers' Championship to Valtteri Bottas. Russell was 4th, Vettel 3rd. I get 2nd place today with Juju Noda. 18 points for her. Fastest lap, pole, probably beginning to end. Valtteri Bottas claims the win. Noda just 1.3 seconds behind, but not faster than Bottas. Outstanding result, and Bottas clinches his 2nd straight Drivers' Championship in style, but Noda stands on the podium alongside him as he celebrates this one. I think that does just about wrap up 6th place for me. Verstappen, I would imagine, is far enough ahead. I would imagine I'm far enough ahead of Albon for Noda to keep 6th place. Russell moves up the order into 10th ahead of Sainz, but stretching that lead back out over Hamilton, again back up to 67 points with just one race to go, is your clear championship winner now. Looks like it was never in doubt, though it started to get slightly in doubt towards the end, but it was a little too far back. Even if Hamilton won again today, 20 more points, and Bottas finishes one position lower, it's still easily over. Even if they swapped places today and Bottas picked up just 6 points and Hamilton the 26, that's a 40-point swing. That's still a 27-point lead. That's still Bottas clinching the championship. Constructors side, Renault could catch Red Bull, but today put a huge dent in that. It's going to be pretty hard for them to do it. And it looks like none of the positions are likely to change in that final race of the year. We still have one race to go, but that's going to happen at the beginning of the next episode. Next episode will obviously focus on the off-season heading from Season 2 into Season 3. But that does it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. And bye for now.